You're listening to Soap Dirt, the latest in television entertainment news.
Hey, Young and the Restless fans. So I want to talk about if we're going to get a big twist for Claire Newman and Holden Novak while they are in LA. Based on some hints dropped by other characters, I'm just wondering if they're going to do something rash that shocks everybody, viewers and all the other characters. It's Belinda from Soap Dirt, and we're going to talk about whether Holden and Claire might shock everybody and elope while they are out of town. Please hit that subscribe button if you aren't already following us, and let's dive right in. So right now, Claire is in Los Angeles with Holden, and she is having a blast. He is showing Claire all the best spots in LA. She is meeting his friend. She's drinking Vespers. They're going clubbing, and she is getting to know a lot more about Holden. Not everything. His secrets are coming out slowly. And then, of course, Kyle up and decided to crash Claire's trip uninvited, and that seems to be pushing her even closer to Holden. I think Claire had the patience of a saint the way she dealt with Kyle this week, but I think he's going to keep pressing on Claire to the point she's going to have to give him one final really hard rejection and send him back to Genoa City while she keeps doing what she wants to do in Los Angeles. And I honestly don't think it would take much for Claire to wind up in bed with Holden. But I am wondering if Claire may take things a step further because of something that Victoria said recently. It got me thinking. She said she hopes Claire doesn't do something impetuous in LA. That is an interesting word, right? It's definitely a valid concern because Holden and Claire are hitting the town, they're boozing it up, and she told Holden how fun it is to drink because you forget all your problems. And that's not a good way to think about drinking. We all know, though, that Claire doesn't have a ton of experience with partying or drinking. So realistically, she might get in over her head hanging out with Holden in wild, wicked Los Angeles. And from there, I could definitely see Claire downing one too many Vespers and doing something without thinking it through. Just something unplanned, something wild, the kind of thing she's never done before. So I'm just wondering if we're going to get a big twist because November Sweeps is coming up. It's just a couple of weeks away. And we all know it's a very short flight from LA to Vegas. And Holden may take Claire to see Sin City before they head back to their everyday lives in Genoa City. So based on Victoria worrying about Claire doing something impetuous while she's away, I could totally see her and Holden eloping. You know, they may get drunk and hitched in LA, or they may run over to Vegas, do some gambling, have a wild quickie wedding with an Elvis impersonator. Now, we all know Claire didn't want to marry Kyle, and she wanted to live it up a little more before she even thought about settling down. But Claire might get tipsy and decide it'd be funny to marry Holden, even though she turned down Kyle when he proposed. I mean, Claire was raised to have a wicked revenge streak that might show itself if she gets drunk with Holden. I've also noticed Claire rocking this edgy new look in Los Angeles. So I don't know if Holden is a freeing influence on her or a bad influence. I guess we'll see. But basically, Kyle wanted Claire to settle down and be a wife to him and a mom to Harrison, kind of an Insta family. But the thing is, Claire was raised in this terrible environment by horrible Jordan Howard. She was controlled her whole life. She was never allowed to date or have friends or have fun or be normal. So it's too soon for Claire to be a wife and mother. Her biological age and her developmental and emotional age are not equivalents because she was raised by such a lunatic that controlled her every move and raised her to be a weapon, basically. So this is the time, you know, this age that she's at, this is the age that you want to figure things out and make mistakes, right? So maybe Claire makes a colossal mistake and she elopes with Holden. Maybe it's not a mistake. That's the kind of thing you don't know until it's long term. We do know that Claire is falling under Holden's spell, but at the same time, he's crazy about Claire. Plus, if Holden got the chance to marry a Newman heiress, that's a no-brainer. The Newmans are the perfect family to marry into, except for the fact that her grandpa Victor is a controlling, overbearing bully. I don't think that ordinarily Victor would approve of Claire eloping, but he might handle it better as long as it's not an Abbott that she got hitched to. And on the plus side, I don't think Holden wants to control Claire, and I don't think he wants to hurt her. I do think Holden seems to have good intentions where she's concerned. So if Claire does elope with Holden, I hope it's a case where they're both tipsy and then they make this rash decision to say I do. That would be dumb but romantic. It would be bad if, say, Holden were sober and he got Claire tipsy and then had her marry him, because that would prove that everybody was right who says Holden's a sketchy dude that can't be trusted. So if Claire comes home married to Holden, I'm sure the family would initially say, we need to get an annulment. That's the kind of situation where Victor might pull out his checkbook and offer Holden 5 or 6 figures to undo that hasty marriage. But then again, Victor might actually leave them alone about the marriage and say that they'll take it on a day-by-day basis, a trial, at least for a while. That way he can rub it in Kyle's face that Claire married somebody else. It would be an absolute slap in Kyle's face, really, that Claire would marry Holden after turning down Kyle. So you never know. Victor might even give Holden a chance. See what kind of man he is and whether he would be a good fit for the family. Victor has a very low opinion of Kyle. He thinks he's a Nepo baby who has never earned anything on his own merit. And that's very different from Holden, who, while he isn't wealthy, is self-made and has earned everything he has, It would also give him a shot with Victor if Holden agreed to sign a post-nuptial agreement saying he won't make a cash grab if things don't work out. So I just feel like Victoria saying she's worried Claire does something impetuous while in Los Angeles is a red flag that something impetuous will happen. It could be something else. Maybe she and Holden elope, or maybe Claire gets a weird tattoo or a piercing somewhere scandalous, But come on, with what she was put through being stolen from Victoria and Cole as a baby and raised by that awful Jordan woman, it seems like Claire should live a little, make a few whoopsies before she settles down. And with November sweeps just 2 weeks away, I guess we'll see what she does.
Thank you for being a loyal listener. Follow us wherever you get your podcast, because you don't want to miss the next episode. Soap Dirt is on all the major podcast platforms, including Apple Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and more.